image of the harvest moon, our thoughts turn toward the final days of autumn and the following cold days of winter. As our attention turns to wintry weather, we're wondering if we're in for another dry season like last year, so snow-free that we spend most of the summer climbing out of widespread drought. That drought still exists in southeast South Dakota. Now a Spanish term has reemerged in the seasonal outlook, La Nina. Cooler water in the South Pacific Ocean that often drives colder air at us from the north. It has been a couple years since we've had to deal with that. And how about moisture? The moisture needed to recharge our soil and water supplies. We look to the skies for some answers in the Keloland Live Doppler Winter Special. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jay Trobeck. Several times this year we've had cloud-free skies over Keloland, but not necessarily blue ones. Smoke from wildfires, especially Canadian wildfires, has obscured what would otherwise be pristine skies. We often see it and sometimes even smell it. Smoke from massive, long-lasting wildfires has frequently been drifting across Keloland, as studies say that wildfire smoke has increased in our air in recent years. South Dakota, like much of the central U.S., averages 60 to 80 days of wildfire smoke per year. The number of smoke days is even higher in eastern North Dakota and the northwest corner of Minnesota, 80 to 100 days per year. Most of the time, the smoke is trapped at cloud level, where it poses no health threat to people. Thicker smoke does slightly dim the sun's rays, cutting a degree or two off our afternoon temperatures. Often the smoke comes from Canadian wildfires, which this year burned 33,000 square miles, about the size of the state of South Carolina. Occasionally, that smoke sinks to the ground, where it can cause respiratory discomfort, though that is pretty rare. We can't put all the blame on smoky skies on Canada. This year in South Dakota, there have been reported 29 wildfires burning about 39,000 acres of land.
Weather is all about patterns, and one pattern that has been rather noticeable as of late has been a lack of severe winter conditions across Keloland. The last two winters in Keloland, by and large, have been easier to navigate than in previous years. From below average snow totals to overall above average temperatures, it seems like Mother Nature has dealt us a good hand lately. Incidentally, the severe weather seasons leading up to those last two winters have been, overall, more tolerable. That got me to thinking about a question I get from time to time. Do active severe weather seasons lead into an active winter? Well, any excuse for me to dive into statistics and archive data is a good one for me, so let's take a look. To keep things from getting too far out of hand, we'll look at the last 10 severe weather seasons and their ensuing winter seasons. We'll be defining snow totals on what is observed from July 1st through June 30th, so snowfall from a single winter season can be counted properly, and looking at total storm reports on the severe side of things. Here's a quick look at what averages for the sake of comparison. We'll start most recently and go backward from there. As I mentioned, the last two winters have been pretty easy with well below average snow. That coincides with below average storm reports across South Dakota for both severe weather seasons. 2022 was a very active severe weather season with 2 derechos in 6 weeks. So how was that winter season? Well above average snowfall across the board. We're 4 for 4 as we look at the 2021 severe weather season and that ensuing winter, as both were below average. Things start to get interesting though as we reach 2020. That was a rather active severe weather season, but snow totals were below average. 2017 through 2019 were below average severe weather seasons that featured above average snow overall, with the opposite on both accounts being observed for 2016 and 2015. So what do we take from this? Well, there are more variables that need to be considered before confirming that there's a pattern, such as whether we had an El Nino or La Nina winter in place, among other crucial factors.
Here is a look at some common winter terms as we head into the colder months. First is a cold weather advisory. This is when wind chills get 25 below and colder.
Our next term is extreme cold warning. This is for wind chills of 35 below and colder. We'll show you how to make sure your home is ready for the cold when we come back.
Farmers depend on the sun to generate rain and fuel crop growth. Why not utilize the sun to harvest clean, renewable energy as well? Solar Express helps farmers, business owners, and residents tap into the power of solar. So why wait? The sooner you call, the sooner you can start saving. For quality, commitment, and service from start to finish, just give us a call.
Clean power for generations with the help from Solar Express.
B1027 rocks. B1027. Sioux Falls home for classic rock. B1027.
On Balance tonight, Bill O'Reilly goes one-on-one with Leland Bittert, breaking down the biggest weekend headlines and newsmakers. No spin, no bull, just the truth. Bill O'Reilly joins On Balance with Leland Bittert tonight at 9/8 Central, only on News Nation.
News Nation and Decision Desk HQ out in front.
Accurate election results faster than the other networks.
News Nation once again has called it first.
The difference is DDHQ. Coverage begins Tuesday, November 4th, starting at 7/6 Central.
Welcome back. As the bitter cold of winter weather rolls across Keloland this season, the battle to keep our homes protected and warm is always a challenge. Dealing with an unexpected furnace breakdown or any other surprise is not fun. Here are some timely tips to keep your home winterized. As we prepare for the winter season ahead, homeowners always have a few extra items on their to-do list this time of year. And whether you're ready or not, winter weather will arrive soon in Keloland. Josh Corbin with Rogers Plumbing and Heating in Sioux Falls says there are several things to consider. One of the easiest but sometimes forgotten items is to disconnect your outside water hoses now to avoid freezing, cracking, and leading to a potential mess next year.
Yep, every spring we have quite a few calls of people who are going out to do some gardening and they come inside and their basement's full of water because they have the hose on. So it's a common thing, so just making sure that you get the hoses off.
Moving inside, our heating systems will soon be working a lot harder as our Keloland forecasts get colder.
The first cold snap where we're 25 degrees or so, we get a pretty good rush there. And then January, February, when we're 0 and negative, then it's really a huge rush for us.
Routine maintenance goes a long way to preventing a problem when these systems are working so hard to keep us warm. What's more, an improperly working furnace can lead to a much more serious situation with carbon monoxide, a poisonous, colorless, and odorless gas that can be detected with properly running detectors.
Maintenance is number one in all of that we have ways of testing equipment. If not, and you're just at home and you're feeling really tired, you really don't know why, and you have a gas water heater, they'll do it too. If you just feel down and just lethargic, you need to make sure you have a detector and get that tested.
If you don't have a carbon monoxide detector, get one. If you have one, check how old it is. Experts recommend getting replacements every 5 to 7 years. Hidden dangers can also show up when deep snow surrounds your house and covers your gas meters. You may recall 2 home explosions that happened in the Madison area in 2023.
Yeah, there's a vent on them, on the regulator in there. So what'll happen is that snow can get up around your whole meter, it'll freeze it, and then sometimes it'll freeze and they'll push open and then they'll start dumping gas. So you want to make sure that you have your gas meters and then regulators for propane. If you have a propane tank, the regulator on the side of the house needs to stay open and clean.
The question is just how hard will our furnaces have to work this winter? Scott will have more to say with his winter forecast coming up.
From heavy snow to strong winds and oftentimes both at once, winter storms can be a sight to behold from home. But what if you have to head out in those conditions? Winter weather can bring a host of elements and conditions that make venturing outdoors difficult at best and outright dangerous at worst. While most times staying at home is a viable option, there may be times where headed out onto the road is something that cannot be avoided. If that's the case, there are several things that can be done to reduce your risk of being involved in an accident or being stranded. Make sure your car is as ready as possible, which includes winterizing it and making sure your gas tank is full. Have some supplies with you like a blanket, water and snacks, and a first aid kit, among other items, in case you get stranded. When it comes to your tires, not only should you make sure the tread isn't worn out, but make sure the air pressure is adequate. Cold temperatures have a drastic effect on your tire's pressure. For every 10 degrees that the temperature drops, your tire loses 1 or 2 psi of pressure. That doesn't sound like a lot at first, but it adds up quickly when the air temperature plummets below zero. Low pressure in your tires can not only cause traction issues, but also increases the risk of a blowout due to extra heat that's generated by the extra flexing of the tire, which in turn will compromise its structural integrity. On the topic of traction, snow and or ice-covered roads have the added variable of increased stopping distance and time, even at slower speeds and with proper tires. Assuming you're driving at 35 miles per hour, you'll need a total of 205 to 275 feet of distance to stop safely with snow-covered roads, while icy roads will require up to 425 feet of distance. That equates to a braking time of 5 to 8 seconds for snow and 10 to 14 seconds for ice-covered roads. You want to also keep an eye out for if and when roads and highways are closed due to poor visibility or drifting snow. If you go on the interstate when it's closed due to the weather, be prepared to pay a fine.
Here are some more terms you may hear from us this winter. First is a winter storm warning. This is issued when there is more than 6 inches of snow and or a half an inch of sleet coming.
And next is a winter weather advisory. Now, this is issued when any of these things are in the forecast, including 3 to 6 inches in 12 hours or 5 to 8 inches in 24 hours. When we come back, we'll take a look at the moisture we've been heading into the winter.
The passing lane just got a whole new meaning. The 2025 Volkswagen Tiguan has a more powerful turbocharged engine than the 2025 Honda CR-V, with a larger touchscreen and has a lower cost of maintenance. Time to switch gears. Test drive the Tiguan today. Right now, select current Honda owners can get a $2,000 conquest bonus on a new 2025 Tiguan.
Hair taking a walk on the wild side? Tame your mane at the Man Salon. We're grooming geared for guys, where VIP treatment comes standard. Haircuts, beard trims, wax, colors, and facials. We feature all of the frills, but none of the fuss. So you can get in, get cut, and get on with your day. Turns out, you clean up pretty nice. Look and feel like a king again. Your throne is waiting at the Man Salon, Sioux Falls and Rapid City.
Need a new Mac? Jason with Mac Doctors is in. Mac need attention? Eric is your everything Mac certified technician. Repair work always receives priority attention at Mac Doctors. Sure, we stock all your favorite Mac products like iPads, MacBooks, and iMacs, but we're also your friendly, local experts who know Mac products inside and out. You won't find that anywhere else. Apple sales and service with a great bedside manner. Mac Doctors, your Mac headquarters, West Russell, Sioux Falls.
The amount of water Keloland receives, no matter what the season is watched closely. And heading into the colder months is no exception. We transitioned from summer to fall with heat and dry conditions in eastern Keloland. But that wasn't the case for everyone. Central to north-central South Dakota had record rains in September. While things calmed down for the beginning of October, it tried to ramp up again by the middle of the month, but not for everyone. As meteorologist Brian Karstens likes to say, it's a matter of the haves and the have-nots. That's those that have been getting moisture versus those that have not. And it's a very fine line. This graphic shows how areas of Keloland stack up when it comes to moisture compared to average. The graphic takes into account the past 2 months. It shows a lot of Keloland with above average moisture. Start in central South Dakota and radiate out to the northwest and northeast, and it shows rainfall has been well above average, as much as 300% and above for west central South Dakota. But the exception is found in south central South Dakota and east. This is where some areas have experienced 25% or less of their climate's average rainfall. That dry ground transitions to the air, and it fights our rainfall chances when scattered showers and storms develop. Due to this, it's harder to rely on scattered rain, and more widespread moisture is what's needed. Also, cold air cannot hold as much moisture as warm air. So we don't expect to get out of drought conditions or alleviate any dry conditions during the winter months, but it has happened. I'll give you details on what to expect this snow season later in the show.
Well, as we all know, not every winter storm is the same here in Keloland. A big factor in the type of winter we can get is where the storm is coming from and where it ends up. Heading into winter, you are going to start hearing meteorologists talk more about the tracks of low-pressure systems. The reason for this is that where these systems originate from can give us an idea of what kind of weather we end up experiencing in Keloland. One of the most common type of winter storm tracks for us is called a Colorado low. This kind of low-pressure system tends to develop in southeastern Colorado or northeastern New Mexico before lifting towards the Midwest. It gains strength as it meets clashing air masses. Then we have warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico that meets up with colder air, which helps fuel cloud cover and heavy snow. Because Colorado lows move more slowly, they have the potential to drop several inches of snow. And when the pressure gradient becomes tighter, our winds will increase, and that is where blizzard conditions develop. It is an overall intense storm system, but other systems we get can be intense too, just in a different way. Sometimes we get lows that move in from Western Canada, and we call these Alberta Clippers. They are quick moving and have limited moisture, which typically means snowfall totals are on the lighter side. That is good news compared to the Colorado low, but there is a trade-off. Strong winds still are a concern, and when combined with colder air being brought in, dangerous wind chills are possible. One more storm system that can sometimes affect eastern Keloland is the Panhandle Hook. Just like it explains in the name, this low forms near the Texas or Oklahoma Panhandle. Then the hook part comes from the northeastward track it takes, but it still has similar effects as the Colorado low. All of these types of storm tracks will be something to remember this winter because understanding these will give a better idea of what to expect and how you can be ready. Now this is why forecasting winter weather can be a little bit tricky. A slight shift in the storm track can mean a totally different forecast for your area.
We have two more winter terms to tell you about. First is a snow squall warning. This is a short but intense burst of snow and gusty winds that can cause reduced visibility and whiteout conditions.
And finally, we have a blizzard warning. This is when there are sustained winds or frequent gusts of 35 miles per hour or more, causing blowing snow. When we come back, I will give us the snowfall prediction for the season.
This message is sponsored by the Vernite Mitsubishi Tradition of Caring in Keloland. Often, due to the challenges of transitioning back to civilian life, 1 in 5 people
I'm going to tell you guys very quick, I was not thinking that a snow squall warning, which I thought we never have that, but I guess I'll just probably put it there on my Storm Shield app, so I'll probably put that there. Well, let's go to iTunes, so watch that, so I will do that right after this.
It's only on Keloland Plus, available on Roku, Fire, Apple, and Samsung TV. Check it out.
Keloland Plus is sponsored by Comfort King.
Hey, Keloland, I know you've seen our scenic station IDs like this.
We are Keloland, your home.
Now, we want to see you. Send us a video that looks like this.
We are Keloland, your home.
At home, on the farm, or at the park. Let's see you in your favorite place. Upload your video that you share on Keloland.com. We are Keloland, your home.
Welcome back. We've been told various old myths and stories about winter, whether it's certain creatures being harbingers of bad weather or tales about the cold. We've covered a few of these a few years back, so let's look at a new group of claims. It's Winter Weather Myth Busting, Round 2. We'll start with a forecasting myth. If you see a halo around the moon at night, wintry weather is on the way. There is some truth to this, but there's also a catch. Moon halos, also known as 22-degree halos due to the angle that light is refracted, are formed when cirrus clouds pass in front of the moon and the light is refracted through. Increasing high-level cirrus clouds can be a sign of an approaching storm system, but that doesn't always mean that moisture will be able to reach the ground, especially if the air is too dry. We'll call this one plausible since it's not always a guarantee, but there is at least some validity to it. Next, let's do a pair of snow-related myths. First up, eating snow can keep you hydrated if you're outside. Now on paper, this seems logical. After all, snow is just frozen water, right? Not quite. Since snow is in a solid form and not a liquid, our bodies need to burn energy to melt that snow. Since snow is cold, our organs need to work harder to heat that snow to melt it, which in turn can make us more dehydrated. Since eating snow to stay hydrated ends up doing more harm than good, this myth is busted. We've all also heard the phrase that no two snowflakes are exactly alike. But is this actually true? First, let's briefly talk about how snowflakes form. Snow crystals form from water vapor high in the atmosphere. Over time, that water vapor continues to condense and freeze onto those crystals as they travel along, creating the ornate patterns that we see on the ground. While there are around 40 categories of snowflakes, scientists estimate that there can be up to 10 to the 158th power combinations. That's a lot of zeros. This many to be exact, and the reason why we'll call this myth confirmed. One last myth for the road. If a cold August follows a hot July, expect a winter hard and dry. August was indeed cooler than July across Keloland, though not by much. As for whether this holds water this season, I'm going to leave that one to Scott.
Many of you, including myself at times, tend to focus a bit too much on the negatives of winter. So this year, let's begin by thinking about the positive subjects of winter. If you've forgotten, let this next 2 minutes refresh your memory. While it's true you can't take time to stop and smell the roses in winter, you can appreciate the beauty that is all around, if you are willing to look. I know not every day is a winter wonderland. Sure, gloomy, overcast skies by the third week of February isn't my cup of tea either. But it isn't always like that. How about below zero weather? There's nothing good about that. Not true. Through the years, we have people who find lots of fun ways to experience the cold winter days. Heat a pan of water, piping hot on the stove, take it outside, and under some adult supervision, behold the wonder. Now that's just cool. And this trick only works well when it's 20 below zero. Not convinced? Well, have you ever heard of the saying there are no two snowflakes that are exactly alike? Well, it's true. Don't believe me? Well, try looking for yourself. A couple of winters ago, I spent a couple of hours outside with our kids and took some close-up photography of the tiny snowflakes on a cold, gloomy February winter day. No fancy tools, just my cell phone and an inexpensive microscope. But what I found was a lot of fun. All those crystals are just so neat to see in detail. The professionals can really capture amazing photos. Each picture is unique, different from the next, and all beautiful for sure. But if you still insist on looking down and dwelling on those heaping piles of heavy wet snowflakes needing to be scooped, well, just look up for a change of heart. When suspended in the sky, some of those same ice crystals we just saw individually can cascade majestic sundogs on a sunlit winter sky. The geometrical shapes of the crystals focus the light in those circular patterns so many of us see on some of the coldest of winter days. Did I mention the amazing glow of the sun pillars too in the evening sky? Then there's frost. Do you remember the scenery of last Christmas? It technically wasn't a white Christmas in Sioux Falls, but the coating of frost was amazing to behold. From lights to trees to fence lines, any object you could imagine was transformed due to the rime icing, the collection of super cool droplets of water driven by a steady breeze and depositing on every imaginable surface. Best part of all, you didn't have to slip and fall on any of it or shovel it off the driveway. Many of you already embrace winter. Skiing, ice skating, ice fishing, so many things you can see and do. And while it's true the winter can be a challenging season, I hope I've reminded some of you that there is beauty to behold.
So the winter, the cold, and the snow, it's not all bad. We've reached the time of the show to show you what I've come up with for this year's prediction. I covered what the moisture trend has been going into the cooler months. But will the moisture continue in central and northern Keloland, or will the recent dry conditions in the southeast prevail? Here's what I've come up with. With the lack of any big global trends, I'm basing this year on what we've been experiencing lately. It'll be interesting to see if that pattern or cycle that we've been in will continue into the colder months ahead. For a shameless plug, Brian Karstens and I have been talking about the pattern we've been in during our Keloland Plus show, Whether or Not. So, if you've been following that program, you have a sneak peek into what we've been experiencing and what we expect to happen. I expect many to be below average when it comes to snowfall, but we will have differences across the area. In Sioux Falls, the amounts will be close to a foot below the climate average, as I'll keep it in the low 30s, for a total of 31 and a half. I do expect Aberdeen and Northeast Keloland to receive some of the highest totals, but many in Northeast Keloland will still be just below average. Aberdeen's number will come in at around 40 inches, 39.8. That's just slightly below average. Central South Dakota will be interesting to follow. While I expect South Central and Central Keloland to be below average, I do think the best chance for above average snowfall will be in North Central South Dakota. Pierre will be around 30 inches at 28.9. Western South Dakota will also be below their climate average, but it will be heavier as Rapid City will be around 40 inches at 42.2. So there it is. Another one is in the books. Again, we'll see what happens this time around.
So slightly below normal, but at least some recovery from last year.
Yeah, last year, almost double what we had last year. I think last year we only came in at 16 inches, one of the top 10 for least amounts of snow in Sioux Falls.
All right, sounds good. We will look forward to that. And thank you for joining us for the Keloland Live Doppler Winter Special. Appreciate your being here, and have a nice winter.
I was like, what the heck is that? Alright, well. Alright guys, well, that was it. And I will talk very quick. Alright, before this video ends, if you miss last Monday at 6:30, the Keloland live Doppler winter special has just started, but don't worry, there is still a chance that you can still watch it on Saturday at 9 a.m. and after the local news. So there's still a chance to see it. The Keloland live Doppler winter special. So since today is Wednesday, October 29th, but yeah, this video was 2 days ago, so that's what it is. So I'm gonna do bowling for tomorrow, since tomorrow is Thursday. So I'm gonna bowl at Empire Bowl, which that's a good to practice with it, which that's also, yeah, so that's why, jeez, I can't talk, but that's why I always bowling every week on Thursdays, since here at Lightscape, the most people that goes to bowling at Empire Bowl was Thursdays, because if you see the bumpers were already up, it means it's for here at Lightscape, that for like wheelchairs or something like that. So I know you see me bowling with bumpers, but some people that they need them so they won't go into a gutter all the time. So don't worry, guys. I will still keep practicing with, but I'll see if I can throw it nice and straighter so it doesn't turn as much. But you've been seeing me, I got it perfectly of the 610, so I will be able to do that. So yeah. And coming this weekend is my state traditional bowling tournament. Is for both days, since on Saturday I bowl at 2:30. Oh wait, I forgot to say the place. It's here in Aberdeen at the Village Bowl. There we go. That's why I forgot to say that one. So Saturday I bowl at 2:30, and I'm on lane 3 and 4. Well, it picked me on lane 3, but well, I'm on lane 3, so you would know that which scoreboard that is talking about. And on Sunday I'm on lane 16 and I bowl at 11:30. So it's gonna be a good doubles team, including the whole entire teammates. So, which it is gonna be a good year, and hopefully I'll never screw it up, and hopefully my right arm does not keep going left. Not every time, but I'll keep practice my swing so it will know what I was thinking about. But the Saturday night dance is gonna be that we always have that. We always have a dance too, but we wear black pants and white shirt. So, but I do have some of it that it'll be nice and black and nice and white, which is it's also good. So I will probably be sharp too. But I'm pretty sure you'll probably see it on Instagram too, that what kind of place it is like. So you'll probably know all about it. Even I'm gonna have some pictures too, probably a few, but I'm not really 100% sure yet. But I'll put everything together so you won't have to worry about me keep posting all the time. Alright, so I guess that was it. And I will see you guys for tomorrow at Empire Bowl. Empire Bowl? Yeah. Well, there's E's were a little bit confusing. Alright. See you guys for tomorrow. And hopefully I will bowl good, which I think I'm pretty sure. So, alright. See you guys.